Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, everybody. It is Saturday, August 22nd, and you know what that means. It is time for the High Risk Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, breaking from the cage, Jeremy Pierce. Welcome, one and all. You know you can check out the socials, Charismatic Creations on Facebook and YouTube, Charismatic_Creations52 on Instagram, and of course 215 on Twitter. And today's show, TNA Lockdown is going down tomorrow. They have brought back one of their OG big pay-per-views. We're going to do a retrospective on the entire series of events and preview the show as well. But for now, you know what's next, so just go on and hit my music. It's very simple. These are the best matches in the history of the Lockdown pay-per-view. And we start with number 5, Abyss versus Christian Cage, going down at the 2006 event. This was a very, very solid affair. Christian Cage put the World Heavyweight Championship, the NWA World Heavyweight Championship, as they were still using that, so the TNA World Championship, on the line against Abyss, who stood to the task, ultimately didn't get the job done because Christian was just on another level when he came to TNA. Number 4, Jeff Jarrett versus Kurt Angle at Lockdown 2011. This was a 2 out of 3 fall steel cage match. Now, these two had some beef. These two had some history with each other, mainly over Karen Jarrett, because Karen was Kurt and she was Jeff, so on and so forth. But these two put on a very, very solid affair. This was called the Ultra Male Rules Best 2 out of 3 fall steel cage match. First fall was submission, which Kurt Angle won. Second fall was pinfall, which Jeff Jarrett won. And then third fall was escaping the cage, with Jeff Jarrett winning. Number 3, Kurt Angle versus Samoa Joe at the 2008 Lockdown event. This was for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship, and now we're starting to reach the upper echelon of Lockdown steel cage matches, ladies and gentlemen. Kurt and Joe just had a chemistry unlike any other. It was a phenomenal affair. These two dudes are just very, very special. Joe ultimately defeated Kurt Angle, retaining the championship. Number 2, Abyss versus AJ Styles at the 2005, the first Lockdown event, and this match was for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship number 1 contenders match. AJ won this, but we knew who AJ was at this point. He was really becoming the true face of TNA. But Abyss, man, this was something special for him. He had to really, really put in the work, and he rose to the occasion. Him and AJ Styles put on a phenomenal match. Some would consider this the best match in Lockdown history, but I have here at number 1, Kurt Angle versus Mr. Anderson at the 2010 Lockdown event. This, ladies and gentlemen, was just a regular old steel cage match, and these two dudes blew the roof off the building. They stole the show. The rest of the show was subpar, okay at best, especially with the knockouts not getting the true time that they've earned and deserve at that point. But Kurt Angle and Mr. Anderson, man, they were a house of fire. Counters, suplexes. It was such a great match, and it kind of flies under the radar. People truly forget how good Mr. Anderson really was in TNA. We'll be right back. Look, the spotlight is on a topic that I have discussed ad nauseum, and that's War Games. They're going to be announced that War Games is returning this year, and I'm kind of just tired of their version of War Games. Survivor Series used to be about the elimination match. That was something special. And here's my thing: if you give stakes to it, if you build it up, it can become special again. You don't have to shoehorn War Games into every single Survivor Series show. On the opposite end, if AEW announces another Blood and Guts this year, it may not be necessary because we haven't really had a true blood feud between the men and the women that have warranted a warranted a Blood and Guts match. So the match can always be good. The match can always feel special, but you can't keep doing it every year. That's how you defeat the purpose. That's how you devalue the importance of the match. I do not need another War Games match this year. And the worst part is we're going to get another one. And even worse, is going to feature the Bloodline. I'm done. I am tired. I will be right back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, TNA, Total Non-Stop Action. They are bringing back their Lockdown pay-per-view event. This, ladies and gentlemen, was one of their mainstay events. As you know, with a lot of wrestling companies, they have their B shows and then they have their A shows. And Lockdown was one of their A shows. They're bringing it back. This will be the 13th Lockdown event, and the first one took place in 2005. So let's talk about Lockdown first, right? So it's their event, with the first being held in 2005. It was one of their flagship events alongside Slammiversary and Bound for Glory. And the theme of this event was very, very simple. Every match is contested inside of a steel cage, and this is especially important, especially when they were doing these 6 sides of steel, when they had their 6-sided ring. And other matches would use additional gimmicks added to the steel cage, such as the Lethal Lockdown match, which we'll go into a little bit later, and the Escape and Queen of the Cage match. So originally, Lockdown was only supposed to have 2 cage matches to highlight the name, but the 2013 event was the only one that followed this format. With the exception of 05 and 06, Lockdown has been held outside of the Impact Zone, and the first 2 events were held on pay-per-view, while the last 2 events were broadcast on TV. This was partly due to the pandemic. So Impact announced the return of the Lockdown event as an Impact Plus special in 2020, but that was canceled due to COVID, obviously, and they decided to bring it back for 2026. Lockdown was good. It was, oh my god, it really looked great when it was under the 6 sides of steel. So the original event took place on April 24th, 2005 at the Impact Zone in Orlando, Florida, ladies and gentlemen. The event started with, actually, you know what? Let's look at that first card. Let's look at that first card. So, only had an attendance of 775. So, for the event, we had 9 matches. There was an escape match. There was a Lethal Lockdown match as well. So the first match of the evening on the pre-show was 3 Live Crew, Cronin and Ron Killings defeating Davey Young, Lex Lovett, and the Naturals, Andy Douglas and Chase Stevens, who were accompanied by Chris Candido. Dang, this man, pay attention. Opening contest was Apollo teaming up with Sonny Siaki. That was my God back in the day, defeating Chris Candido. Ready for this? In 05, Lance Hoyt. Yes, the Murder Hawk Monster himself. Second match of the evening was Dustin Rhodes defeating Bobby Roode, who was accompanied by A1 and Scott D'Amore. This was a Prince of Darkness match, 2 out of 3 falls. Shocker defeated Chris Sabin, Matt Bentley, who you know as Maverick Matt Bentley, and is Matt Bentley Shannon Moore? No, but he was trained by Shawn Michaels. Matt Bentley, who was accompanied by Trinity and Sanjay Dutt. This was a 4-man escape match for the TNA X Division Championship match, earning number contenders match at Hard Justice. Another event. So the match following that Man, Trinity, that was a name I've heard in a minute. Jeff Hardy defeated Raven in a 6 Sides of Steel tables match. America's Most Wanted, Chris Harris and James Storm defeated Team Canada, Eric Young and Petey Williams in a 6 Sides of Steel match for the NWA World Tag Team Championship. You got to remember, for this time, right, ladies and gentlemen, they were still using the NWA titles for a lot of the matches. Christopher Daniels defeated Primetime Elix Skipper to retain the X Division Championship. Team Nash, BG James, DDP, and Sean Waltman, representing Kevin Nash, defeated Team Jarrett, Jeff Jarrett, Monty Brown, and the Outlaw Billy Gunn. This was a lethal lockdown match, and the main event, like we discussed earlier, was AJ Styles defeating Abyss to retain the defeating Abyss to earn a championship match at Hard Justice. So crazy event, right? Like, solid match. Their knockouts weren't big at that time. Was a very interesting show, right? So during that first show, Candido suffered a leg injury, was helped to the back by Apollo and Hoy, who won the match. He was later diagnosed with a dislocated ankle, a broken tibia, and broken fibula that required surgery. After that surgery, he was rushed to the hospital. After he collapsed, ladies and gentlemen, he passed away. This is the exciting event that, we lost Chris Candido. The following event, the Hard Justice event, paid tribute to Chris Candido. And for a good minute, right, ladies and gentlemen, all the lockdowns would take place in April. I'm looking at it now. Most of them took place in April or March. Early in the year, one took place in January, but this one recently is taking place, obviously, in August. So lockdown was good. Lockdown has been good. We go into the following year. This was where we're still in the Impact Zone, right? We had Team Japan, Black Tiger, Minoru Tanaka, and Hiroku Goda. I ain't been wrestling for that long. Defeating Team USA, Sanjay Dutt, Jay Lethal, and Alex Shelley. And the next division 6 Sides of Steel match, Senshi defeated Senshi, ladies and gentlemen, is the artist known as Loki, defeated Christopher Daniels. Is Senshi still wrestling? I haven't seen him wrestle in a minute. Bob Armstrong beat Conan. This was an arm wrestling challenge. Chris Sabin defeated Elix Skipper, Petey Williams, Chase Stevens, Shark Boy, and Puma. This was an escape match. Samoa Joe defeated Sabu to retain the X Division Championship. Team 3D, this was a 6-man. Brother Devon Ray and Runt, you knew him, Spike Dudley, defeated Bobby Roode, Eric Young, and A1. This was an anthem match. Christian Cage, like we discussed earlier, defeated Abyss to retain the World Championship. And Sting's Warriors, Sting, AJ Styles, Ron Killings, and Rhino defeated Jarrett's Army. Jeff Jarrett, Scott Steiner, Chris Harris, and James Storm. This was a lethal lockdown match. So we were getting good stuff. Let me try to find the event that had the first knockouts match on there. First knockouts match obviously was Gail Kim versus Jackie Moore at the 2007 lockdown event. So we got some good stuff going with lockdown, and now it is back. So it has had some signature matches. With the first, we'll go with the Queen of the Cage match. And this was something that TNA likes to do a lot, which is reverse battle royals. Yeah, I know, right? So, introducing 08, the Queen of the Cage match was held at 2 lockdowns events and it only featured the knockouts, right? So it began as a reverse battle royal where you have to fight on the outside to make your way into the steel cage. And then it becomes the first 2 people in. It becomes a regular one-on-one match that's won by either pinfall or submission. Which the one thing I love about TNA and AEW when they do their steel cage matches, there is no escape the cage unless there's a stipulation for it. So we've had escape the cage matches, but you have to win by pinfall and submission. So let's go to the 08 match and let's see who was involved in that. So at that 2008 event, the queen of the cage match was Velvet Sky, Tracy Brooks, Salinas, Raka Khan, Jackie Moore, Christy Hemme, and Angelina Love. All solid people. I think Angelina is the Velvet are the only two that actually ever won the Knockouts Championship in this match. But Roxy Laveau, one of my favorites, defeated Angelina Love. This was determined the number one contender for the Knockouts Championship. Right? And here's the thing. It shows you how much they cared, how little they cared about the knockout, because the match only went 5.5 minutes. A match like this should be going for at least 10 to 15 minimum. But like if we did that match today in TNA, it would definitely be a banger match. Then we go to the 2009 event, and we had another Queen of the Cage match. This was in Philly. I was young. I didn't have any money. I couldn't go to that one. And this was, I know there was another Queen. Yeah, ODB defeated Daphne. Rest in peace. Madison Rain and Sojourner Bolts. That's the name I haven't heard in a long one. This match only went 6 minutes. Let me look at the rest of that card. I know is my city. Eric Young defeated Danny Bonaducci. Well, he is from the area. This was on the pre-show. Suicide defeated Consequences Creed. You know him as Xavier Woods. Kiyoshi, Jay Lethal, and Sheik Abdul Bashir Davari. In an escape match to retain the X Division Championship, we had Queen of the Cage. Motor City Machine Guns defeated LAX, Hernandez, and Homicide, and No Limit, Naito. Jeez, I'm gonna go back and watch the show. And Yujiri to retain the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championship. Matt Morgan defeated Abyss in a Doomsday Chamber of Blood match. Angelina Love defeated Awesome Kong and Taylor Wilde to become the new Knockouts champion. Team 3D, Ray and Devon defeated Beer Money. This was a title Philadelphia Street Fight TNA World Tag Team Championship held by Beer Money and the IWGP Tag Team Championship held by Team 3D. Team Jarrett, AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels, Jeff Jarrett, and Samoa Joe defeated Team Angle, Booker T, Kevin Nash, Kurt Angle, Scott Steiner, i.e. the Main Event Mafia, and a Lethal Lockdown match. In the main event, Mick Foley defeated Sting to win the TNA World Championship. I gotta go back and watch that show. Was that a good show? What's the overall rating for that show? It's actually, funny enough, one of the 3 best lockdown shows. And if you exclude the TV lockdown, it's the best lockdown show. That's funny. But, so then we have I believe the next match is the escape match. So the escape match was exclusive to the X Division. It was a multi-stage, multi-wrestler competition with the roles involving wrestlers eliminating each other by pinfall or submission. Once the competition is down to 2 wrestlers, the remaining competitors attempt to escape the cage by climbing out over the top rope or through the door. The second stage of this match is based on the concept of the Blassie cage match. Let me break down the Blassie cage match for you, ladies and gentlemen. That is essentially escaping the cage. Freddie Blassie came up with this stipulation in his feud with John Tolos in the California territories. It is known that Freddie Blassie and Vince were really good friends. So with Vince breaking away from NWA, he may have been presented with this idea about Blassie to help differentiate themselves from the former partners. That's really, really unique and interesting. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. We had a couple escape matches, but the signature match of TNA Lockdown is the Lethal Lockdown events, and every lockdown has had one. It's been featured at a few other shows: Bound for Glory, one night only, and a couple Impact Wrestling shows. So what is the Lethal Lockdown event? Well, the match consists of a single ring enclosed by a steel cage with two teams facing off with each other. One member from each other team begins, and at certain intervals, the other team members enter one at a time. This has the stagger system of war games and blood and guts with weapons permitted and even provided. And when all competitors have entered the ring, the roof is lowered on top of the cage with various weapons hanging from it. That, ladies and gentlemen, is Lethal Lockdown. Interesting. We've had a bunch of them featuring some of the top stars, and usually a team match. Rarely is it one-on-one. I'm trying to see if there's been an actual one-on-one Lethal Lockdown match. No, there's been team matches. There's been tag team matches. The first Knockouts Lockdown match took place in 2016 as the Dollhouse, Jade, Marty Bell, and Rebel defeated Gail Kim, Maria Bennett, and a Velvet Sky. Let me take a look at that show real quick. Hold on. Let me look at that show. It's a TV show, and a lockdown match went 11 minutes. It was solid. It was a solid show. Okay. But yeah, the lockdown match has been a mainstay of TNA, and now it is coming back this year, tomorrow night, or tonight, or whenever you listen to this, at the 2026 event. And you know what? I think it's time we look at the card for the 2026 lockdown show. So we have 8 matches, which is fair enough. And we have the Hardys putting the World Tag Team Championship on the line against the brother team of the Nemeth. So we've got brothers versus brothers, ladies and gentlemen. Nick Nemeth is the current TNA Men's World Heavyweight Champion, and him and Nick have just kind of been running roughshod over TNA, right? These dudes are good, but now it's time for the Hardys to prove themselves. Santino set this match up, and per the tradition of Lockdown, this will be a steel cage match. Santino also set up Nick to defend the TNA title, which at a later date, and Matt defeated Ryan as Jeff and Nick brawled on the outside. Nick successfully defended the title against Jeff on the Impact last week. Then we have Cedric Alexander versus Leon Slater. This is for the X Division Championship. So on the May 14th of Impact, Cedric Alexander ended Leon Slater's record tying 298-day reign as X Division Champion in a 2 out of 3 falls match. He won it 2 falls to 1 in that Slammiversary. He defended the title in a 7-man Ultimate X match that included Slater. So when Slater and Amazing Red simultaneously unhooked the belt, Alexander grabbed the belt from their hands to retain it. So over the next couple of weeks, Slater began a partnership with Ricky Sosa against the System, including Fabian Eichner, which were ready to lead with the Lethal Lockdown match. Essentially, Cedric Alexander is very, very insecure, and he wants to remove the history, the record of Leon Slater from the books. So after a match, Slater offered Alexander anything for a title shot, and Alexander chose to have Slater's record-tying 298-day reign erased from the history books if he loses, and Slater accepted the fate. So essentially, ladies and gentlemen, if Slater loses, his title reign will be all for nothing. And the following week, well, if this is correct, this is a last man standing match. I don't think I've ever seen a last man standing match inside of a steel cage. I've seen an I Quit match inside of a Hell in a Cell, which also is a really good stipulation, but a last man standing match in a steel cage, really, really solid. Then we have the Demon X Bunny Rosemary, Ali putting their Knockouts tag team titles on the line against the Elegance brand team of Heather and M by Elegance. So, over the following weeks during the inaugural TNA Knockouts TV title tournament, right? Heather and M defeated Ali and Rosemary respectively, and the Elegance brand received their title match. But Ali defended the title in a 2-on-1 handicap match because Rosemary was gone. We couldn't find her. That match ended in disqualification after Ali began, doing what she got to do to retain the titles. They retained. Later that night, the director of operations, Daria Ray, announced a steel cage match where they have to put the titles on the line again against the Elegance brand. And on August 20th, Ali announced that she would have a mystery part in her title defense due to the absence of Rosemary. So we don't know what's going on with Rosemary. I hope everything is okay. I don't know if this is kayfabe or not, but the titles are on the line. I'll give you my predictions for each after I review each match. Then we have Jason Hotch putting the International Championship on the line against Mustafa Ali. So Ali held a vote to determine the number one contender. He berated Order 4-member John Seiler when he tried to tally the votes, accused him of ruining the voting integrity. And Daria Ray announced that the winner of the vote was Ali's own stablemate, Jason Hotch. Ali laughed that result off, claiming that it was a prank by the locker room and instructing Hotch to demand Ray initiate a revote. However, Hotch chose to keep the title opportunity, and after talking with his family and Leon Slater, he kept it, and that enraged Ali. So they have their match. Ali attacked Hotch with the belt, which prompted Skyler to take the belt off of Ali. When Ali illegally used the ropes as leverage to pin Hotch, Order 4 Tasha Steelz pushed Ali's feet off the ropes. Mila Moore confronted Steelz. The two women fought to the back, and Agent Zero pulled them away. Hotch attacked Ali and pinned him to become champion. So we're doing something with Jason Hotch. We're pushing him, and now Ali kicked him out of the group. He's been targeting Hotch's family, and he is upset. He's angry because someone he thought was below him has won, and now Hotch has to prove him. So this is going to be a good match. I wouldn't be surprised if Hotch lost here. Then we have Zaya Brookside putting the Knockouts Championship on the line against Elena Black. So the only thing stupid about this is that for some odd reason, Elena Black's a good guy here. So Zaya had an issue with Elena's goal to become the greatest knockout of all time, and Black claimed that Brookside was afraid and envious of her. So in the following week, after Black's first round match against the tournament against Wendy Chu ended in the draw, Brookside attacked them both, and then Brookside defended the title successfully against Chu, and Black later declared she would fight Brookside for the title in her hometown Chicago in a steel cage match, and that's where things stand. Brookside has had a good reign. I'm so used to people losing their hometown, so I don't know for sure if Zaya would retain, but it'll be very, very interesting. Then we got Moose taking on he's taking on Cass. So Cass attacked Moose in his match against AJ Francis, and after the match, right, Cass continued attacking him, giving Francis and Expressions a turn. Moose later invited Elijah to battle Kazarian and Francis the following week, but they lost after experienced by Expressions. And Moose claimed that Cass did not earn the King of TNA nickname because, even though Cass has been there for a good minute, Moose truly has been the king of TNA, and he challenged Cass to a match at Lockdown. Cass later accepted the challenge, and under the condition that would be Escape the Cage, which Moose accepted. So we have this, and later that night, in a couple weeks, Moose was found unconscious after a brawl between him and Cass. Then we have Elijah taking on AJ Francis. Elijah defeated AJ Francis to reclaim the rights to his name, likeness, and music. And Francis and Cass defeated Elijah and Moose. After Francis' manager Expressions caused Elijah to fall off the ropes and get hit and pinned. So after the match, Expressions tried to hit Elijah with the guitar, but Moose stopped him before Elijah and him attacked Expressions. The following week, Francis solicited money for Expressions' medical bills from various wrestlers, including Elijah, who did not make a donation, as he accused Francis of being a hypocrite who wears expensive shoes, blah, blah, blah. The stipulation was laid. Elijah versus AJ Lethal. Not Lethal Lockdown, just a steel cage match. And the main event, obviously, the main event of the show will be the Lethal Lockdown match, as it will be the System taking on Fabian Eichner, Jada Stone, Ricky Sosa, and KC Navarro. That's a really weird squad. And essentially, there's a lot of this going on. This started with Fabian Eichner making his debut and coming after Cedric Alexander for the X Division Championship. But Cedric's in the System. The System protects each other. Later that night, Ricky Sosa declined to join the System, so that's where he gets in. Leon Slater came out to help, so now he's off doing his thing with Cedric Alexander. Then we've got Jada Stone, who eliminated Alicia Edwards in the Knockouts TV title tournament. KC Navarro helped take out the System, and that's how things are going. There's been a lot of fighting, a lot of brawling between all of these members, but a Lethal Lockdown match was announced, and this is, like I said, this is the event signature match. It's going to be good. It's going to be fun. Lethal Lockdown is a joy and a blast to watch. So who do I think is going to win the matches? I got the Hardys retaining. I got Leon Slater beating Cedric. I got Demon X Bunny retaining, because you just don't do a mystery partner and have them lose. I got Hotch defeating Ali to retain. I got Alayna Black beating Zaya Brookside, Moose defeating Cass, Elijah defeating AJ Francis, and the Good Guys defeating the System and Lethal Lockdown. But ladies and gentlemen, that is our show. It's going to be fun. You have to have big shows, big matches. Every company has like their main shows that you have to see, and then they have everything else in between. Lockdown was that for TNA for the longest of times. Lockdown, Slammiversary, Bound for Glory, and at this point I would probably throw in Genesis and Hard to Kill. AEW is All In, All Out, Revolution, Full Gear, and I'm missing one. And of course, Double or Nothing. For the WWE, Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Money in the Bank, Survivor Series. The only reason I read it off like that because it's the usual. So you have to have these shows. You have to have these important shows. You have to have these big matches. And I'm happy that TNA is bringing back Lockdown. But like I said, that's the show. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Look on the screen what we got coming up, ladies and gentlemen. You can check out the socials, Charismatic Creations on Facebook and YouTube, Charismatic_Creations52 on Instagram, and of course the 215 on Twitter. And as always, Will and Nightingale, Chris Statlander, Hazuki, Priscilla Kelly, Anna J, Isla Dawn, and Bailey. Holla at your boy. Peace.